is Y News with Angelo Castro III and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. The Interpol is now hunting the employers of an overseas Filipino worker found frozen in Kuwait. The Kuwaiti government considers the employers who are Lebanese and Syrian nationals as suspects on the Filipino worker's death. Philippine ambassador to Kuwait, Renato Pedro Villa, says he has talked with the head of the Criminal Evidence Department of the Ministry of Interior of Kuwait about the case. A forensic exam will be conducted to know the cause of death of the OFW.
Kanila nang inalerto ang Interpol at para malocate yung Lebanese employer at yung kanyang asawang Syrian doon sa Lebanon dahil tumakas na sila mula nung November 2016 pa.
62 overseas Filipino workers or OFWs who received amnesty from the Kuwaiti government arrived in the Philippines today. They all feel relieved that finally they are safe and can now start a better life in their home country. Leslie Longboen will tell us why.
Araw-araw niya po akong binubugbog doon at saka kinukulong po ako sa kwarto. Sinasakal po, hinampas po ng panluto at saka pinapadapa po ako at saka binubugbog.
Irene's dream of a better life turned into a nightmare when she decided to work in Kuwait. Irene narrates her employer in Kuwait frequently hurts her and deprived her of her salary, which is why she was forced to flee.
Pero hindi niya ibibigay yung sahod ko sa akin kaya tumakas po ako.
Irene is among the overseas Filipino workers or OFWs who experienced abuse from their employers. She is one of the 62 OFWs who arrived in the country earlier this morning via Philippine Airlines flight PR669.
Kasama rin po dito, yung iba po mga masasabi natin nagka-problema po sa Kuwait, nagkakaso, mga umalis po sa kanilang amo at kinasuhan ng amo. Inayos na po ng ating polo yan at may uwi na po natin sila.
Each of the returning OFWs received 15,000 peso worth of financial assistance from the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or OWA. OWA also offered them livelihood program and training.
Bibigyan natin sila ng initial capital para po sila makapagnegosyo. Ito naman po sa ating mga kababayan na hindi naman po talagang pangnegosyo ang gusto, pwede po sila mag-training.
OWA says more than 9,000 Filipinos in Kuwait are expected to avail of the amnesty before the deadline on the 22nd of February. It can be noted the Kuwaiti government will begin a crackdown on undocumented overseas workers in March. Leslie Longboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Philippine ambassador to Kuwait, Renato Pedro Villa, calls on stranded OFWs in Kuwait to avail of the Kuwaiti government's amnesty program for undocumented workers. Villa says there are around 10,800 undocumented OFWs in Kuwait, but they are expecting only 7,000 who will avail of the program. Among the 2,500 who already applied, 2,200 are already given the departure clearance by the Kuwaiti government. This week, another 400 are expected to arrive in the country in 3 batches. Ambassador Villa stressed that those who will avail of the amnesty will have the chance to return to Kuwait when situation becomes better. The Filipino community in Kuwait favors the deployment ban of OFWs but insists they should only apply to domestic helpers and not unskilled workers. The OFW party list calls on the government to impose a total ban on the deployment of Filipino workers to Kuwait. Here's why from Victor Cosare.
Burns, bruises, and wounds in various parts of their body. This is what Filipino domestic helpers experience in Kuwait based on the report received by the ex-OFW party list. The figure of the group shows that the number of Filipino workers who died in Kuwait has increased in the past 2 years, while 300 to 400 household workers are fleeing their employers and are now being housed by the Philippine Embassy or shelters in the said country. According to OFW Party List Representative John Bertiz, OFWs in Kuwait have no protection since the Philippines did not sign a bilateral agreement with the Arab nation. Should the Kuwaiti government refuse to sign an agreement with the Philippines, Bertiz notes that the data they have gathered is sufficient to use as basis to repatriate all OFWs in the said country.
Ang challenge sa ating gobyerno kasi is dapat panindigan natin yung panawagan ng ating presidente sa pag-ban nitong mga deployment ng mga vulnerable sector, especially the domestic workers. Actually, dapat niya permanent ban.
The lawmaker also emphasizes that the government should be prepared to provide aid and to help the OFWs who might be affected by the deployment ban.
Alamin natin saan ba natin pwedeng dalhin tong mga workers na to, which is meron tayong bilateral agreement, protektado sila.
The Department of Labor and Employment, meanwhile, says it is open to the said proposal.
Kung qualified sila at merong market, gusto nila pumunta, by all means, we'll accommodate them. Kaya lang, it should not be a reason for us to be pressured into lifting the suspension.
Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The National Food Authority says there is nothing to worry, though the supply of NFA rice is only good for the next 35 days. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
Since December last year, rice retailer Christie was not able to sell NFA rice in Nepacumart, Quezon City. And even if the commercial rice she sells has increased by 2 pesos per kilo, her customers have no choice but to buy it.
Wala silang choice, wala silang mabiling mura. So kahit mahal, binibili na rin nila.
Mike fortunately was still able to buy NFA rice in Kamuning Market. He believes that in case NFA rice will no longer be available in the coming days, it is just temporary.
May darating din naman ulit kagaya dati nawala bigla yung NFA tapos may pumalit.
Edgardo, an NFA rice retailer in Kamuning Market, say he still has NFA rice in stock but that will only last for 2 days.
Pag naubos to, wala na. Hihintay tayo ng dating.
On the other hand, Javier, another retailer, maintains the prices of his commercial rice even if he got it from the dealer with 40 pesos increase per sack.
Ay kala pa. Kala kami nagsasacrifice dito sa palengke.
The NFA Council will meet on Monday to decide the mode of procurement they are going to use in importing the 250,000 metric tons or 5 million sacks of rice. The replenishment of NFA rice in government's warehouses depends on the mode of procurement that the agency plans to use. For the government-to-government mode, the procurement will take 35 to 45 days, whereas government-to-private mode will take 2 to 3 months. NFA spokesperson Rebecca Olarte says the agency has 1.2 million metric tons of rice that will last for 35 days based on their distribution rate. But they are hoping that they can buy from local farmers to augment the gap before the arrival of imported rice.
Nasabi ng administrator nga na baka magkaroon ng vacuum na 10 days na totally walang NFA rice. Pero ang magandang balita naman, right now, meron ng mga areas na umaani ng summer harvest.
Meanwhile, farmer groups will sell 38 pesos per kilogram of rice on February 14 at the Department of Agriculture compound in Quezon City. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
President Rodrigo Duterte signs into law the Free Irrigation Service Act or Republic Act No. 10969. The chief executive signed the law on February 2 and will be implemented 15 days after its publication. With this, farmers and irrigators associations will no longer have to pay for irrigation service fees, particularly those with not more than 8 hectares of land. However, exempted from fee irrigation service fees are those who have more than 8 hectares of land with corporate farms and plantations. The National Irrigation Administration or NIA is responsible for releasing necessary policies, qualification requirements, and selection process on this. Aside from farmers, animal raisers are also suffering the effects of Mount Mayon's eruptions in Albay. Here's why from Monoxon.
It's not a month yet since Mount Mayon began to erupt, but its damages to agriculture in the province of Albay has already reached 185 million pesos. The Department of Agriculture or DA says The activities of the volcano affect more than 9,000 farmers in the over 7,000 hectares of land in the province. The crops produced by local farmers can no longer be consumed, as these are damaged already by the ash fall. The badly hit are farmlands. Next are vegetables and farm animals like cows and water buffaloes. The DA fears more farmers will be affected if the volcano continues to erupt. The farmers in the 2nd and 3rd district of Albay are the most affected. Due to the ash fall, prices of vegetables rose particularly in local markets in Legazpi City. The DA, meanwhile, says it is already monitoring those who would take unfair advantage of the situation by selling vegetables at higher prices. The Provincial Veterinary Services, or PVS, begins to conduct deworming and administration of vitamins to the animals of farmers. Overall, almost 700 water buffaloes and cows have been affected by the eruption of Mayon volcano.
Ito po yung aming evacuation. So, nagsiset up kami ng isang lugar na kung saan iipunin lang nila yung mga hayop nila.
These cows and carabaos are the primary helpers of farmers in their livelihood. This is why the Provincial Veterinary Service wants to assure that they are healthy. According to some farmers, the health of their animals has been affected by the ash fall coming from Mount Mayon.
Kasi yung abo, walang makakain yung kalabok. Siyempre, yung abo sa mga damo. Minsan sir, nagtaita rin sila sir. Kaya ito nga malaking bagay din sa amin na may mag-inject baga, vitamins.
Through the PVS, farm animals might avoid contracting diseases, and farmers can recover from the losses they suffered due to the eruption of the Mayon volcano. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Ginobatan, Albay.
The congestion in evacuation centers in Albay is still a cause of concern, according to the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office of Albay. Mai Bermudez will tell us why.
Amid the decampment of evacuees living beyond the 8-kilometer extended danger zone last Friday, evacuees still feel they are packed like sardines in evacuation centers in Albay. According to Albay Public Safety and Emergency Management Office, a classroom was supposed to contain a maximum of 10 families. But most often, this exceeds to more than 20 families.
Pag may congestion, siyempre, papasok yung ibang problema. Yung problema sa kitchen, yung problema sa sanitation, nandun pa rin.
Despite this, based on reports from the Municipal Risk Reduction and Management Offices in the whole of Albay, there are no difficulties in supplying and distributing relief goods in the province. And to address congestion problems, the provincial government requested UNICEF to supply 60 to 70 tents.
Hindi kami naniniwala na within 2 weeks, kung ibaba naman yan ng PHIVOX Alert Level 3, may maiiwan pa din. Pero hindi rin kami naniniwala na within 2 weeks, ibababa ulit from Alert Level 2 to 2.
As per the Office of Civil Defense Region 5, there are still more than 15,000 families, or almost 58,000 individuals staying in 53 evacuation centers in the province. The provincial government is currently coordinating with the municipal offices in Albay to respond to the needs of evacuees. Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Legazpi, Albay.
A group of students staged protest action in front of the Commission on Higher Education. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
School year 2017-2018 is still yet to end, but students from different universities worry over the proposed tuition hike for the next school year. Groups of students already started forming protests against the said proposal. Just this morning, students led by the National Union of Students Philippines, or NUSP, held a protest action in front of the Commission on Higher Education. Students cry foul over the proposed tuition hike, which they believe suppresses their rights of having quality education. According to NUSP, around 400 universities and colleges already submitted their proposal for tuition hike for the next school year. And this early, it seems to them that schools are already collecting charges through various fees, such as payment for Xerox copies of lectures, rental of university facilities to be used for gatherings, and even charges for forms or documents in processing requirements.
Up until now, yung free tuition, mas fasad siya na kunwari libre na ang edukasyon. Pero andun pa talaga no, yung iba't iba pang itsura ng paniningil.
According to a UP film student, it is an injustice to have her pay 26,000 pesos for her course to be officially enrolled for a semester.
Malabo pa rin sa aming mga estudyante na hindi covered ng free tuition kung ano yung mismong gagawin namin kasi yung UP wala rin siyang parang hinahain na maayos na proseso para doon.
Although there is no official statement yet from CHED to ease their worries, Malacanang assures that the free college education will be implemented starting school year 2018-2019 and qualified students no longer have to pay anything.
Ang libre lang po ng 2017 tuition, hindi po kasama yung mga miscellaneous fees. Kaya may konting binayaran po ang mga estudyante ng SUCs noong 2017. Yung bagong batas, ang effectivity niya 2018. Kasi yan po ay nasa ilalim din ng 2018 budget. Ang libreng tuition po ay sa Hunyo pag sila ay nag-enroll. Kasi sang-ayon po sa batas, hindi lang tuition pati miscellaneous fees ay kasama na.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Next on Y News. Senate pushes for a passage of Philippine Rice Development Authority. Developers from China and Malaysia expressed interest to help rehabilitate the war-torn city of Marawi. Y News will be right back. The Senate pushes for the passage of the proposal to establish a Philippine Rice Development Authority that will focus on the security and development of the area. Some experts also believe that the government should prioritize the declaration of Banham Bank as a protected area. Here's why from Nel Maribohok.
Some senators believe it is high time to approve the proposal to establish an agency that will focus on protection, research and development in Benham or Philippine rice. This after President Rodrigo Duterte declared that only Filipinos have the right to do scientific research in Benham rice. According to Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, the proposed Philippine Rice Development Authority will be a policy-making body and will have regulatory powers over entities who want to explore the area. In a statement by Senator Sani Angara, who is also the author of the bill, it is better to have an agency for easier coordination and research in Benham rice. For Oceana Philippines, one of the first to do research in the area, the proposal would be much better if there is cooperation from the academic and private sector.
Only by working together can we truly ensure na ang kapakanan ng lahat ng players ay mapapagtuunan rin ng pansin.
According to Marian Sanyano, a marine scientist, the government should prioritize first the declaration of the 17,000-hectare Benham Bank as a protected area.
Walang ibang activities na pwedeng gawin doon sa area except for mga scientific studies, etc. Kasi siya yung mag-serve as source and refuge ng ating mga isda.
Currently, the Committee of Senator Gatchalian is now forming a technical working group to study some issues such as the additional powers that will be granted to the Philippine Rice Development Authority. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
Several groups from China and Malaysia have expressed interest to rehabilitate the most affected parts of Marawi City, says Task Force Bangon Marawi. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The groundbreaking ceremony for the rehabilitation of the most affected parts of Marawi City is in April. On Monday, February 12, developers who are interested to participate in the rehabilitation should submit their unsolicited proposals to the government. Task Force Bangon Marawi says around 6 have already expressed their interest, including groups from China and Malaysia.
Based on the informal communications that relate to us, foreign companies have signified their intention to participate in the master development of Marawi, coming from China and Malaysia.
The technical working group of the Task Force Bangon Marawi will study the proposals for 1 week. The group says the bidding process for the rehabilitation project will undergo the Swiss Challenge system. It means after selecting the best proposal, the government will look for another party which can challenge it and offer it for a lower price but with the same quality. Meanwhile, the local government of Marawi City welcomes the decision of the Supreme Court to uphold the constitutionality of the extension of martial law in Mindanao for 1 year. They believe this is beneficial for the city, especially on its reconstruction and rehabilitation.
Tayo po ay naniniwala na makakatulong po, especially in addressing itong sinasabi natin na the possibilities of recruitment of would-be members of this ISIS-inspired group. So yan po ay malaking tulong po.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The National Bureau of Investigation is ordered to explain its failure to deliver taguba to the local jail as directed by the court last week. Meanwhile, the Manila Regional Trial Court has postponed the arraignment of customs broker Mark Taguba for the drug smuggling case in relation to the 6.4 billion peso shabu shipment. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
Today's arraignment of customs broker Mark Taguba over his drug smuggling case has been cancelled. His lawyer asked the court for a postponement due to a pending petition before the Department of Justice. Manila RTC Branch 46 Presiding Judge Raynelda Estacio Montesa reset the arraignment to February 23. Taguba's lawyer insists his client is innocent in the smuggling of 6.4 billion pesos worth of shabu at the Bureau of Customs.
All the way until it was delivered, Mark did not know what the content of that container was.
The Department of Justice is directed to comment on Taguba's appeal for continued detention at the NBI. His lawyer explains it could not be denied there are people who would want to harm Taguba once he is transferred to the Manila City Jail due to his testimony before the Senate hearings. He notes that some of the persons whom Taguba implicated in drug smuggling and anomalies in the Bureau of Customs and anomalies in the Customs Bureau have already lost their positions.
It's not a secret at all. It's actually pretty well known na napakadali po na kumuha ho ng isang tao, bayaran po ito doon sa loob ng jail para po gumawa ng masama laban sa kapong bilanggo. No?
Taguba remains under NBI custody, but the chief of the NBI detention cell has been directed by the court to explain the failure to deliver him to the city jail as ordered since last Friday. Judge Montesa says this sends a wrong message to the public because it would appear that court orders can be defied and high-profile accused is given special treatments. Meanwhile, the court has also directed the transfer of alleged shabu shipment consignee Irene May Tatad to the Manila City Jail. Tatad is also under NBI custody after she was arrested while on a vacation in Iloilo. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
President Rodrigo Duterte appoints as Executive Director of the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission or PACC lawyer Eduardo Bringas. Bringas was the legal counsel of former NBI Deputy Directors Reynaldo Esmeralda and Ruel Lasala, who filed complaints against Senator Laila de Lima and former Bureau of Corrections Officer in charge Rafael Ragos on alleged conspiracy in illegal drug operations.
The Philippine National Police or PNP shrugs off the preliminary examination that will be conducted by the International Criminal Court on the administration's anti-drug war. Here's why from Rajel Adora.
According to PNP Deputy Spokesperson Superintendent Vimoli Madrid, they will continue to perform their duties and are not worried over the preliminary examination that will be conducted by the International Criminal Court or ICC on the war on drugs of the Duterte administration.
So long as we uphold the law, we are not afraid any investigating body to conduct an investigation.
The preliminary probe the ICC will conduct is based on the complaint filed by Attorney Jude Sabio, Senator Antonio Trillanes IV, and Representative Gary Alejano in 2017. They accused President Rodrigo Duterte of committing a crime against humanity due to the high number of deaths under his war on drugs. Once the International Court proves it has jurisdiction over the case, only then it will proceed with the actual investigation. Since the Philippine National Police returned to the war on drug scene, 53 individuals have already died in the more than 4,000 drug operations they conducted, while over 1,500 have surrendered under the more than 3,400 Oplantokhang operations the police conducted across the country. Rajel Adora, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Authorities found an improvised explosive device or IED at a checkpoint of Task Force Davao. They believe the IED was placed there by the communist rebel group New People's Army. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
Task Force Davao confirms the unattended bag they found in Barangay Lasang, Bunawan District, Davao City yesterday contained an improvised explosive device or IED. Task Force Davao Commander Colonel Nolasco Mempin says the said bag was found almost just 1 kilometer away from their detachment.
Upon yung respond ng K9 dogs natin, it appears to be positive kasi nag-sit down yung K9 dog. So immediately tinawagan na nila yung EOD natin na naka-base dito sa Santa Ana. And pag yung dating ng EOD natin, nung i-check nila, appears na positive din.
Although the task force has yet to determine who left the IED, Colonel Mempin says they believe the communist rebel group New People's Army or NPA is the one responsible.
Up to the exact, we have not identified yet yung perpetrator, but based dun sa signature ng IED, it is the same with the IED being used by NPA because it is a homemade bomb wherein yung casing niya is a PVC pipe plus may mga fragments made of cut into pieces ng cable wire, then fertilizer and detonating cord as the booster for the explosives.
Mempin also notes that since the city of Davao already became a center of the country, they are expecting more pestering from rebel groups. With this, authorities plan to intensify the security in detachment areas. The residents of the city are also advised to stay vigilant of suspicious objects or individuals and to immediately report them to authorities. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, meanwhile, shrugged off the incident.
Giingnan ako ang Task Force Davao nga i-check nila kung unsa ang background sa pagbutang atong IED because it may be na ginatest sa NPA kung unsay capacity sa preparedness sa atong Task Force Davao. So giingnan ako sila to look deeper into the matter, and I commended and congratulate the men and women din sa ato ang checkpoint din sa Lasang sa ilahang paspas na action and ganing pagkaibalo nga dunay nabutang na IED din ha.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Authorities continue to conduct monitoring of several alleged kidnapping syndicates in the country despite drop in number, according to the report of the PNP Highway Patrol Group. Leia Ilagan will tell us why.
There is a huge drop in the number of kidnapping incidents in the country in the past few months. Based on the figures of the Philippine National Police Highway Patrol Group, there are 850 kidnapping incidents across the country in January 2016. The number declined to 601 in January of 2017. But this January 2018, there were only 212 cases of kidnapping, 22 of which were motor vehicles, while 190 were motorcycles. According to HPG spokesperson Police Senior Inspector Carol Habagat, the information drive of the Highway Patrol Group helps in lowering the cases of kidnapping in the country.
Ito pong mga tips natin, ibinibigay po natin during the conduct of our patrolling and also during the conduct of checkpoints. At saka po, bumibisita po ang ating mga kasamahan sa HPG sa mga barabarangay natin.
Abagat notes, PNP HPG personnel are also active in terms of monitoring the alleged carnapping syndicates.
Pinaigting po natin yung operasyon natin against po sa mga carnappers natin.
HPG continuously monitor carnapping syndicates in the country. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Authorities warned the public of a much heavier traffic flow from C5 extension in Taguig to Merville subdivision in Parañaque City, especially in the last quarter of the year. Here's why from Rajel Adora.
From 45 minutes to 1 hour of travel from CP Garcia C5 extension in Taguig to Parañaque City, motorists can expect it to be down to 8 minutes as the C5 flyover gets completed next year. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority targets to finish the project in June 2019. MMDA Assistant General Manager Jojo Garcia, however, warns the public of the possible traffic congestion before the end of the year.
May tatay mga posto dyan, baka sakali lang may mga minor changes, pero definitely any major changes o magsasara ng lane, papaalam nila sa MMDA.
According to Manila Pacific Toll Corporation Assistant Vice President Arlet Capistrano, the affected areas of construction are Merville, the Sucat Service Road, and some parts of the Cavite Expressway in Parañaque City.
We are managing this traffic with MMDA so that it's well coordinated.
The project will accommodate 40 to 45,000 motorists traveling the area every day. The flyover is 2.2 kilometers long and its construction cost 1.2 billion pesos. Rajel Adora, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Carmela Ariola's hometown concert in Batangas is a dream come true for the Recovery Grand finalists. Leslie Longbowen tells us why.
Supporters of Recovery Grand finalist Carmela Ariola filled the Plaza Independencia in Lipa, Batangas last night. The Birit Queen has once again showcased her amazing vocal control, this time live in front of her fans. Carmela says her hometown concert is a dream come true.
Parang dati lang, nag-i-imagine ako sa harap ng salamin tapos may hawak akong suklay. Na feeling ko nagko-concert ako and now through Recovery it happened. Seeing the Batangueños loving me, seeing them supporting me with all their voices and hearts, mas gagalingan ko para sa kanila.
Her kababayans promised to support her until the grand finals.
Ipakita ang lakas ng Batangas! Go Army Ariola!
Meanwhile, charity was also a highlight in the hometown tour as Wish 1075 fulfilled wishes of Batangueños. These include Toto Reblora's wish to have tools to sell banana Q.
Malaking bagay po ito sa amin, kahit sa malit na paraan, mga katulad namin ay nabibigyan po ng pagkakataong magkaroon ng malit na hanap buhay.
Jomar Abanilla is also very happy that Wish FM granted his wish to see his favorite band, Shamrock.
Thank you very much po sa pag-grantang wish ko kasi matagal ko na po siyang pangarap na makita sila kasi high school pa po ako noon.
Carmela Ariola also conducted public service to her kababayans, where she fed 50 underweight children from different public schools. The next Wish Covery Tour will be in Louie Ancolala's hometown in Bulacan. Leslie Longboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Lipa, Batangas.
Those are the reasons behind the news, February 9, 2018. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I'm Darlene Basingan.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Thank you for watching
Why
News.